we've said it a few times already. We are giving away our enchanted rare Kita. Link to the Patreon down below to figure out how to get your entries for it. We have another giveaway going on. Both these giveaways will conclude on April 1st or 2nd, something like that. I will update it in the community tab at a closer date. The video is titled Double Giveaway to see how to do the other giveaway. But today we're here because we gave in. It's set 3. We finally did it. We made a Ruby Amethyst video and it's still the best deck, guys. Spreadsheet down below to show you how things are going. And actually at the end of this video, I'll pull it up really quickly once again just to give you guys a quick little walkthrough. Might do that in a couple of these videos just so everyone can see it. Again, link for that down below. We are playing 7-1 costs, 11-2 costs, 23 costs, 12 4 costs, 4 5s, 2 6s, and 4 7s. 13 out of our 16 cards are uninkable. So our 1-drops, we're playing 3 Olafs because the 3 willpower is just kind of nice, and then 4 Rafiki. I like Rafiki being a challenger, gets that 3, gets to apply that pressure to your opponent, like go ahead and challenge, I'm going to take out your card. In our 2-drop spots, we have Cusco Wanted Llama coming down as a 3 of because it's card draw, it helps you out there. Your Madam Mim Snake, we're only playing 2. I've messed with all the ratios on this, like 2, 3, 4. I know that's not all of them, but 2, 3, 4, and just wanted to see which I felt like worked best, and we settled on 2. It's kind of nice for being able to bounce a card back, such as your Maleficent, your Goat, or your Rabbit to get full advantage of them, but also something like, say, an Olaf that you can use as ink in your turn 3. Pinocchio Talkative Puppet is very nice. It comes down as an uninkable 1-1, but when you play this card, you can exert your opponent's card, especially when you're up to, say, like 7 lore, so you be prepared, your opponent plays a card, it's your turn. If you can, like, drop Pinocchio, exert their card, drop Maui, take out their card, you swing the tempo so hard in your favor, and yeah, you're probably going to win that game. Obviously, there's other scenarios where that isn't necessarily the way you have to do it, but with Maui, this card pairs up really well. Pinocchio also pairs up with your Queen of Hearts pretty well, and your Madam Mim Fox. We're playing 2 Queen of Hearts and 4 Foxes. These 2 cards I really like because we're trying to take out our opponent's cards and just out-resource them and win via that route. Both of these cards have Rush, meaning they can challenge the turn they are played. Mim Fox obviously being the better, especially with the 4-3 stat line, but being able to bounce your Goat or your Rabbit to take full advantage of them. 4 Maleficent Sorceresses because card draw. We are playing 2 Merlin Crabs to give that extra challenger +3 to your cards, especially when taking out locations. Sometimes you need that extra boost to be able to do it. Your Mim Fox can all of a sudden have 7 strength, as could your Merlin Goat. Your Merlin Rabbit could go to 5, and your Maui can go to a very threatening 9. 3 Mini Surfers. She's a multi-quester. She applies pressure, being evasive to your opponent. Her 3 willpower, and yeah, there's not a whole lot of downside to Mini Surfer. We're playing 4 Goats. I don't think there's a whole lot else to say about it. It's uninkable, and I have felt like it was able to be cut down. I know a lot more people are playing 4, but we're playing 2 Merlin Rabbits. Before you say that's blasphemy, well, someone else did top playing just 2, so it can be done. And personally, I enjoyed it 2 more than 4. Prince Eric. This card applies a decent bit of pressure to your opponent. It saw some play, a decent bit of play, then it started to fade off, and I think this card just being able to banish a chosen character when it gets banished, it doesn't matter by which way, whether it's be prepared, whether it's Teeth and Ambition, whether it's challenging, you can take out their card. So essentially you can swing a 2-for-1 with Teeth and Ambition and Prince Eric into your opponent. Additionally, he quests for 2, so if you don't necessarily need to get rid of him, you can just do it that way. 4 Maui because, well, Maui is going in hard with that 6 attack and 4 or 5 willpower. He cannot quest you anything, but Rush is very good. Lady T, Madame Medusa. Where do we stand with these? I liked Lady Tremaine more. Reading them both, I liked Lady Tremaine more. Playing against it, I felt like Medusa caused me more headaches. Then testing with it, I felt like Medusa came up more. So we ended up cutting Lady Tremaine altogether and playing just the two Madame Medusas. We were playing 10 songs in the form of 2 Teeth, 4 Friends, and 4 Be Prepared. Teeth obviously being able to deal damage to our opponent and potentially trigger our Prince Eric. Friends is your draw power, and well, Be Prepared is just the card of the format that really isn't going to change. Sometimes you want layers of lore building, so Sorcerer's Spellbook is a one-of that we're playing to get lore passively once each turn. Maui's Fishhook allows you to deal with evasive characters, and it also can give you Challenger +3, so it helps you take on your opponent's threats. And then finally, 4 Queen's Castle, because draw power, 2 passive lore, and it has 7 willpower. It also only costs 1 to move here, which is very, very strong. So this is the deck profile that we're running with. You saw it up at the top at the beginning. It's not the most expensive deck either, about $173. 60 of that is Maui. Hopefully you got yours when he was under 10, but Maui's really, really good, and that's why his price continues to rise. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget the giveaways. Like, share, subscribe, and we're going to jump on into some replays. Take care. Well, we're halfway through it, guys. We went through the deck. Now we just got the video of the replays to do, and then we can put this monster of a deck away, because who else is tired of this deck? Well, I haven't played it a whole lot, so I'm really not, but I know a lot of you guys are. I just wanted to cover it, take my little spin on it, and try it out for myself. I played it for a little bit last format, but I had way more fun playing Amber Amethyst, and now I'm on Emerald Amethyst and Bounce Control. I have a video up on the channel, my updated list just the other day. Also, down below, Patreon funding giveaways on the channel. But don't feel obligated, I get it. It's not for everyone, and that's fine. I just wanted to have a way to help give you guys better giveaways, which thank you guys, by the way, because obviously that is, through you guys, so it would not be possible without yous. But what I put forth, and in addition to Patreon, all that going into giveaways for the channel for subscribers, and then Patreon exclusive ones, in addition to the Discord that they'll have access to that I'm starting up, and we're going to grow it and see what we can't do. But again, we have replays to go over. So first one, against my other deck, Amethyst Emerald. We get to go first. Olaf, Sorcerer's Spellbook, Mimfox, Queen's Castle, Queen of Hearts, Teeth and Ambition, Maui. Forgive me if I don't play properly. Again, I have not played this deck since, I don't know, mid-December, maybe? Something like that. It's been a little bit. Anyway, so we're going first, and I'm like, actually, I'm just going to keep my hand. I got 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops, ink. I'm okay. I really like where we're at. We got Olaf. We inked our Maui. So Ursula goes away. He's not worried about us having songs, I guess. Then Rafiki comes down, which actually can go ahead and take out the Olaf. We do have Teeth and Ambition, however. So if we want, we can quest Teeth and Ambition. And I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, Teeth and Ambition, Teeth and Ambition, Teeth and Ambition. And then I inked it. Like I said, forgive me, because that is not what we meant to do. I meant to ink the Queen, and instead I inked that, and then I was really just kind of flustered. And then we go ahead and play the Queen, because I'm like, oh, I got to get a card out, and kind of take away the surprise advantage of the Queen with having Rush. So ideally here, you ink the Queen, you quest the Olaf, you Teeth and Ambition the Olaf, get rid of the Rafiki. Ta-da! We just played it better. But instead, we set ourselves behind. Luckily, I know that deck for 1, so I can play against it decently well, I like to think. For 2, we have a favorable matchup against it, which is the one thing that we're working on with Amethyst Emerald. My list, I actually do not mind the matchup too bad. So we hit a Rafiki, we get rid of it. We're going to go ahead, quest, bounce, play, and then we can sing our friends next turn. my list, I'm not saying it's favorable into the Ruby Amethyst matchup, but I think it's less unfavorable than some of the other bounce lists that are out there, so I do really like it. He comes down real aggro now with the Maleficent and the Flynn's. I'm okay with where we're at right now. I'm going to let him commit a little bit more to it. So we play our Spellbook, play our Olaf. We can start taking out cards next turn then. Like Olaf can take out Maleficent. The Kit Cloud Kicker goes away, which could have prevented the Olaf. Tinkerbell comes down, so I guess it makes a little bit of sense. And he's going to go ahead and quest for a whole bunch. So going up to 8, Olaf could take out the Maleficent. We have the Mim Fox, and we have now another Mim Fox. If I don't like my hand, we obviously can play Mim Fox. So we play the other Mim. We get rid of the Olaf in hand. I'm like, what do I not necessarily want or need? So we ink, we gain the one, and we take out the other. Get rid of the Cusco in hand. So now we do have Queen's Castle. So between Castle and Spellbook, I felt that I can catch up and surpass him faster. He has his own castle, which means we're not going to quest this turn. Instead, we're going to have to take it out. We ink for that. Now we can move 2 there, so we're going to be able to draw 2. We didn't get our ink this turn. That would allow him to put 5 damage on the castle. So next turn the castle's gone, but we're going to get 2 draw and 2 lore out of it, which that's actually okay. Maleficent, go ahead, draw 1. Then Spellbook, going to go ahead and quest us 1. Quest. Ink the Maui because he's not going to help here. Friends, so we have our Hook and our Stylish Surfer. So Hook allowing evasive is going to let us deal with that. Tinkerbell, Kit Cloud Kicker comes down, gets rid of that, which is okay because we can, just use her again and draw a card. But anyway, we have our Fishhook come down. We can go ahead and then give evasive to one of our, not snakes, our foxes, and we just essentially take out his board. He's got 1 card in hand, Kit in hand. We ink our Jim, who we actually ended up cutting, by the way. So if you see cards in here that weren't in the deck profile, it's because we made some changes. We cut out Jim, we cut out RLS, things like that. I tested quite a bit, and they just felt a little lackluster. So we have our Stylish Surfer. He's got Kit and Rabbit. We quest. We can go ahead play, get rid of the Kit. Then we can get our lore from our Spellbook. We keep that as a potential draw. So we're actually ahead now. But he comes down with Goat, which keeps him in it a little bit more. Goes to 15. We can go to 15 as well. We instead, though, can take that out. He's going to get the draw. We have a lot in hand, too, though. Put down the Prince, and we go to 14. But we put the 14 down, and we're sitting with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on board. I should have kept the Rafiki. I didn't think about be prepared. Oh, wait, no. Why did I say? I don't know. Ignore me. It's late. I've been talking a lot, watching a lot of replays, and if he plays Be Prepared, I'm calling a judge because something about that just doesn't seem right. Anyway, the Goat then comes down, goes to 17. And yeah, that's essentially going to be it for that replay. So Sapphire Emerald, hopefully I can get through this one a little bit better. But anyway, we're going first. So Fox, Goat, Be Prepared, Maleficent, Fishhook, Olaf, and Merlin. Goat. Going first, we have our 1-drop. Fishhook's actually nice just to have generically. We got draw. We have bounce with Fox. We don't really need the Goats, but they're not horrible to have. Like, nothing about my hand really screams anything crazy. We get another Maleficent, which helps with draw. We get Surfer, which is going to be good. Teeth and Ambition, which is potentially good. Like, if he comes out with, like, a Curse Merfolk or a Flynn Charming Rogue, we can get rid of it without having to challenge it, so that'll be nice. Grammatala gets inked, Develop Your Brain. We don't have a 2-drop to play. drawing into another Be Prepared. He didn't do anything though, so we don't necessarily need a 2-drop either. So we ink our other Maleficent. We don't really need the draws, I felt, at this point, especially with Queen's Castle. 2 going to be potential draws. I like my hand though, so that's why we got rid of the Maleficent. He strikes a good match, draw 2 cards, waiting on him to then discard. The way it's going, like I said, the fishhook isn't necessarily needed. We're going into turn 3, so it's like Teeth and Ambition. I can gain a bit more of advantage here, not necessarily have to worry about those discard to challenge cards, because between my hand being dumped and Be Prepared and just being ahead in advantage, I wasn't too worried about it. So we hit our Queen with Rush, we hit Goat, and we have our Snake. We bounce, we ink, we play our Queen. Again, not really playing her properly, because the whole idea of Rush is keeping it secret in your hand, and then your opponent doesn't know it, and they do something, and you play it, and you can rush. Mother knows best. Bounce the Surfer Mini just to kind of slow us down a little bit. So Sisu and Mickey, he ramped a little bit. We have another Queen. Snake can take that out. Then we're going to go ahead, play our Queen, our Queen's Castle, get rid of our Goat, move the Queen, and then we can quest for 1. We moved her there so we can draw 2 on our turn, because there's really not anything I'm too worried about him stopping that, except for that. Genie being able to bounce it to our hand means we're not going to draw the extra card. We'll still get the 2 passive lore, and then try again. So this time though, we're going to ink the Queen and play our other castle, and then we go quest our Snake. So again, he doesn't have enough to take out the castle, but he could use another Genie. Pooh comes down, so we know it's not going to be Genie. Sisu attacks, or not attacks, quests. I have 20 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! To get over terminology, so you hear me say things like monsters and destroyed and other terms like that. So I apologize. We have characters and strength and willpower. Genie into the Fox, which is something I wasn't necessarily expecting. I was like, oh yeah, that works. And then here I was like, okay, so we go Surfer Mini, move that, kind of bait the Genie if we can't, let him attack. Instead he goes after the castle. We could have kept the spellbook and Be Prepared. I was hoping he committed more of his board. So if you're wondering why you don't Be Prepared there, get the 4 next turn, come down with your spellbook, and maybe that's the proper play. But I wanted to see what he would do. We have our second Be Prepared now, so we play it like that, playing the second one. So he's like, oh, he just drew Be Prepared. Okay. We go to 17 on our turn, and then we can play Be Prepared again, and then we go to 20 on the following turn. So it just works out really good that way. But his Grammatala is not really going to be able to do anything, so I was like, do I do it? I was like, there's no reason not to do it, right? So we do. We quest, or not quest, we gain the pass floor, and then our spellbook gets us our last one. One more replay. Double Queen, Maui, Medusa, Olaf, Mini, and Queen's Castle. Against Pirates, location, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. We get rid of our Queen, and we get Olaf on board. We mulliganed 1 and got a Mim Snake in return. Is he going to come out with a Captain Hook turn 1? We see Wait Set go away. Personally, I don't like the card in Pirates or in Location Control. Last format, I got it. It made sense with the color combination. Color combination also wasn't very good. This time, I don't really like the card. So we put the Snake down just so we can do a little bit more damage to our opponent, especially if he comes out with locations. We now have the Olaf 2 as ink on our next turn. So instead we see Simba come down, so kind of an aggro-ish list. If he quests, he could potentially have a bodyguard. Prince would be a bodyguard that our snake wouldn't take out. Instead, he doesn't do anything because he knows we'll just take out his Simba. So we come down with our Queen's Castle, knowing it's going to be safe. If he pokes 1 damage at it, I'm okay with it. I guess I shouldn't say we know it's going to be safe, because he could potentially have Rise of the Titans here and take it out. So Scar comes down. Really kind of interested with his list at this point. Typically just not being a card that you see played too often. So we go to 10, and we're threatening a draw 2 extra cards. He can deal 6 damage, so unless he has a way to deal another damage, we're going to draw those 2 cards. Or he could attack the snake and then lose his Scar, and we only draw 1 card. But either way, we should be getting an extra draw, unless that happens. So now he could have scarred there, which personally I would have, to keep me from drawing that extra card. We ink, and then we quest. We play our Eric, and we move him to the castle. Just drawing that extra card, I don't know if that's something you necessarily let your opponent do, because what do you do now? Like, at some point, Scar's going to have to quest or attack the snake or do something to where I just take it out anyway. So had he did it, snake would be off the board right now. I'd have 1 less card in hand. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't quite see why you do it. But anyway, he then shifts to the Scar, readies the Simba, and takes out my castle. We draw into another Be Prepared. 3 cards in hand, 5 cards in hand. We're up 13-0. We can go ahead, try to take the most, use our cards to the best that we can. We draw 2 then, Maleficent and Castle. So we have a 13-0 advantage, and we also have the card advantage. We see the big beast get inked, and then Scar comes down. So the 6-5 going to be pretty good. We play our castle. So what is he gonna do here? Because if he can't take it out, we go to 15, and then we can just be prepared and, you know, get rid of his card that way. So we go to 15, we ink that, we play our goat, we go to 16, we play our Maleficent, we draw a card. We're gonna lose our castle now, which, again, if we use Be Prepared instead, we would then have gone up a little bit more. Dragonfire hits the goat, so we go to 17. He has to take out the castle, but at the same time, he does that, we go to 18. He just kind of admits defeat, more or less, by questing and not wanting to have 0, I guess, but it really doesn't matter so much. So we played the deck, had some fun with it. Probably not gonna continue doing videos on it, just because, you know, everyone's kind of sick of it. But if you want to see updated progress and deck lists, you know, they'll be on that Discord through the Patreon, or I might just post them on the community tab. Probably not gonna do videos on it. Thanks for watching though. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below.